Now, it's no secret that we teachers, we are not supposed to have favorites, and I treat all my kids the same. But my current grade 12 age class, that's kind of special to me. And I don't think it's a secret, lots of people know that. And this is my grade 12 HL class. And I'm going to be talking about the fact, why are they special? Not because they're good at math, which they are, not there because they're smart and everything else, and they're going to be successful no matter what they're going to do. But they're special because they represent you, the new generation, and the pioneers of this new world order. Now, they're special because you're special. And why are you special? Well, for lots of reasons. You're special because you come from different backgrounds and different cultures, and you live together, and instead of fighting and everything else, you do good things together. Not only for yourself, for a whole bunch of other people. And that's kind of special. You kind of care. Let me show you how special you are. You do things like, cake and ambassadors. You go to other places. You bring gifts to people who are not privileged. You go to far places like Africa and build schools and bring happiness to young children and little boys. And most importantly, you make people happy. And you enjoy it while you're doing it. That, I think, is kind of special. And that's the mark of the new generation, and that's the kind of new world order that we need. We need a new world order of the new generation, your generation, the one that cares. So, while I was teaching this class, I usually give them hard problems, and they sit and do them. And I was sitting there watching like I was there before, and I started thinking, you think you guys are the only people who daydream, right? We do it too. So I was kind of like daydreaming and thinking, wow, these guys are really special. I wonder, what are they going to do? Kind of like, imagine if Barack Obama's teacher, when he was in Indonesia, sitting there watching him and thinking, oh my God, this kid's going to grow up to be the president of the United States. That kind of a thing. So I'm thinking, wow, what are these kids going to do? That's so special. They're going to create this new world order. Then you might say, what is this new world order you keep talking about? And you might even say, why is it needed? So let me show you why it is important and why it's needed. The world, if you think about it, is kind of crumbling around us. It kind of started around 1979. If you remember the Iranian Revolution when they toppled the Shah, I was there during the time, so I know it kind of firsthand. And then the Berlin Wall happened. Then we had the Ukraine thing happening nearby. We had the Arab Spring going all over the place. And the bottom line is, people seem to be not very happy about the whole thing, It's kind of going bad all over the place. If you think about it, in Hong Kong, it's going on. Do you remember United States in 2007 after the economic crisis when Bernie made off with everybody's money? So things were going bad there. There are, in fact, riots and demonstrations going on in the United States right this minute. So all across the world, there are problems. The world seems to be falling apart. So you might be thinking, wow, that's pretty bad. Well, actually, that's not really kind of fair because we've done some pretty good stuff also, right? So, for example, in the early of this last century, we invented the aeroplane, which we are hopefully going to use to fly off tomorrow and after tomorrow. Then, in 1969, we landed on the moon. Some of you weren't even born then. And if you think about it, 1969 was only less than 20 years after the computers were first invented. So in 20 years, with the computers, we did land on the moon. Then moon was not far enough. So we say, hey, let's go farther. So we went to Mars or sent some things to Mars to explore that. And most importantly, it's all about money. We made tons of money. And if you want to see tons of money, New York Stock Exchange. Every day, they are exchanging trillions and trillions of dollars. So you might be thinking, okay, you're talking from both sides of the mouth. One side you say the world is crumbling, the other side you say, we did great stuff, we got lots of money, everybody is rich, so what's the problem? So let me show you the problem. Global wealth inequality. So watch this video, and it's pretty too fast, but we'll see. These are real numbers, I didn't make them up. Now this graph or this video went a little too fast, and if you want, you should kind of look at it and study a little bit more and understand what's really happening. But this is the one, let me summarize it for you here, which is really the key. What graphs basically shows is that the majority of the wealth, that green bar that goes all the way to the top, is owned or controlled by a very teeny minority. Whereas the other graph that showed most of this wealth is generated by most of the people over there. What that means is, a lot of those people, the guys who were protesting in everywhere else, they feel like they are the ones who generated this wealth, they're entitled to it, but they're not getting any of it. Now, you know what happens when something that you think belongs to you and somebody takes it away from you? Let me show you. This was Jimmy Kimball's. They took away the candy from the kids after Halloween. And the parents told the kids, we took away your candy.
Those aren't real drawers, buddy.
Get out.
Daddy and I ate all of your candy.
Now, you might think, oh, these poor kids, kids behave badly. I mean, that really, somebody took their candy, they're throwing chairs around, big deal. The grown-ups don't act like that. You're right, grown-ups don't like that. They don't throw chairs, they do far worse. Let me show you. People in France, they got mad, chop chop. People in Russia got mad, adios. People in Iraq got mad with Saddam Hussein, hasta la vista. Okay, did you get the picture? When you really get mad, we do really bad things. So the challenge for these pioneers of mine who are going to create this fantastic new world order, this is the challenge. The challenge is that this revolution business, that's not a good idea. Because when you have revolution, what you do? You just replace one bad dude with another bad dude, things don't really improve. So, and you got lots and lots of destruction. So revolution's not the answer. We need a better way of kind of changing the world. Basically, this new world order has to be without revolutionary destruction, where the majority feel successful and that they are achieving some sort of prosperity. Now, that's, reasonable, yes, but really tough challenge to achieve, yes? That's the challenge these people have. So, I was thinking about what these people are going to do, how they're going to create this new world. So I started thinking, wow, this is a tough challenge. How are they going to do that? Some of the cynical people might say, some of these kids, they can't even walk from Pokrovsky and get to class in time. How are they going to create this new world order? But I thought, you don't necessarily have to get up in the morning to do things. You can do some wonderful things. Do you remember my first TED talk when I talked about the power of the mindset? And do you remember I talked about the fact that before we had this mindset that the world is flat, and then all of a sudden we changed this mindset to the world is round, and next thing you know, Columbus discovered America, and next thing you know, we have the greatest nation on earth, just out of that one change in mindset. But that was finding America, that's a big deal, right? But that challenge I was talking about, that's much bigger deal. So maybe one mindset change is not going to do it. I think they need two changes in mindset. The first one is, now this is a quote which is on my board all the time. Those of the people in my classes, they know this. It says, I cannot solve every problem, but I can solve any problem. Now that's kind of profound, and if you think about it, we're trying to solve racial inequality, we're trying to solve protectionism, we're trying to solve gender inequality, and these are every problem. And maybe we're not being that successful. We need a solution, like a quadratic formula, for solving any problem. I had to get the quadratic formula in there. The other problem is, so we need to change this mindset that, hey, we can't solve every problem, but we need to find a way to solve any problem. Kind of like, the story about give the man a fish, feed him for a day, teach the man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. That kind of solution that we're looking for. The other problem with this gender inequality and racial inequality and protectionism is that it creates a lot of inefficiencies. Do you remember from my last TED talk, I talk about how women were not treated equally as men, and they really should be treated, and that men and women are the binary of humanity, and binary is the 0 and 1 on which all the computers are built, which for your calculators and your Facebook and all those things. If the binary was messed up, things would be pretty messed up, right? So the whole binary is at the point that 0 and 1 are distinct, not unequal, but equally valuable. That's why men and women should be equally valuable. If you don't treat them, it's like saying in binary computers that we don't like zeros, let's all have ones. Now, if you did that, imagine what would happen. This is what happens when you mess with binary. The whole thing, the computers go berserk, the whole thing goes kaput. I think, see what I mean? That's what happened. So, we need a second mindset change. Mindset change number 2. And what is that? That is not a zero-sum game. Let me explain what that means. Our current society is based on the fact that competition is good. Now, when you compete, what happens? You're going for a prize. Now, the problem with that is there is one prize, lots of people competing for it, so they have to fight for that, and that's why you have fights. Imagine you didn't have one prize, you had lots of prizes. Not only the number of people, but tons of them. Then there's no reason for people to fight, right? And the problem is that we have this mindset that, oh my God, if we give something to somebody else, it comes out of somebody else's pocket, and therefore it's not a good thing. But the reality is we have tons of resources. It is not a zero-sum game. If somebody benefits, it doesn't mean that somebody else necessarily have to be hurt, right? And that's the second mindset change. And when you do that, this is what happens. We know, especially in the United States, we are really big into competition. You've seen football games, everybody is competing for everything else. Soccer league, mini league, that league, TV shows, everything all about competition. And competition is a good thing. You might say, hey, what's wrong with that? United States, really powerful, fantastic place. Well, that's a good thing to achieve prosperity, and we have. But the problem is, it's only good for a few. United States, out of the whole world of 7 billion people, that's a few prosperous people, no? What we need is collaboration. Because a collaboration is a better way. And that's why, coming back to the whole thing, the reason you guys are special is because you naturally collaborate. You compete also, because a lot of you are going to Stanford and MIT and all those fantastic places, right? That's competition. But at the same time, you collaborate. So, collaboration along with competition, that's really the best way. That's how you create this new world order. So the question is, what is the best way? The best way is to create the new world order without revolutionary destruction, where the majority feel successful and are achieving prosperity. So the question is, will this vision of mine, that this fantastic special group of mine, are they going to create this world order? Yeah, they will. Of that, in my mind, there is no question. The only question is, when will they do it? Will they do it if I'm still around to watch it? Or will they do it after I drop dead? You know, I think about it, not such a bad idea, either ways. Why? Because either ways, I know they will, and that the world is in better hands, your hands. Thank you very much. No pressure, you guys. Just do it. Nike, thank you.